Just on, thank you very much, Chair. Just on the COP31 bid, Minister, do you acknowledge that the Albanese government's bid to host COP31 has failed?
Do we just go through this?
I think we secured in a challenging process a very good outcome for the Pacific and also for Australia, with Mr Bowen being having the negotiation role, the lead negotiation role as incoming COP president. Sorry, I just couldn't recall. Of course, it's a matter of fact that the bid in relation to Adelaide did not succeed.
And disappointing for your hometown, Adelaide?
Oh, of course. You know, but the Premier was, as he stated, we are a state that leads Australia on renewable energy, and a state that recognises the reality of climate change, unlike your party, and a state that recognises the economic benefit of transition and are determined to take hold of that for our people.
Well, I would put to you, given the cost, and as Senator Smith has been prosecuting, it's a disappointing result given the cost involved. Are you able to bring those costs back to the table?
I'm sorry, which
the cost of the bid from the DFAT's perspective?
The costs?
Yeah, the cost of the failed bid. If you could bring that back to the table.
I think Mr Isbister has referred that to the queue.
All right, to the extent that there's costs incurred by DFAT.
I think it's, I was going to say, I think as we said earlier, the costs that we incurred were largely sort of how we utilised our international network and the ambassador and the climate diplomacy division. So it's DFAT's role in supporting other departments in delivering on multilateral campaigns is part of our role and our objective. So it was largely within the costs of the department.
Okay, Minister, can I move to?
Can I come back though to your question about? I think the real failure would have been a stalemate and the COP reverting to Bonn with no incoming president, because that would have meant climate negotiations internationally would have stalled. No progress. Now, I know your party doesn't support action on climate change, apparently doesn't support the Paris
Minister,
Agreement.
I would appreciate not having the pot shots. That's a false premise, and please do not.
Senator.
Please do not make false allegations in
Senator
relation
Henderson,
to our party.
come on, let's. We're only just start. Hang on. The minister has a right to conclude her response. You have a right to then ask a question. Let's just start. It's only 9:30. Let's just keep moving.
The minister needs to be directly relevant, and pot shots to the false
I don't need you to help me with my
claims
job.
about
Thank you,
our
Senator.
side of politics are not appropriate.
Minister, you have the call.
Thank you, Chair. Well, Senator, we actually place value on the international framework, and I think it is a matter of fact that your party does not.
Well, Minister, I don't appreciate the pot shots, as I've said, and that's inappropriate and false, and I don't think that's a good start to the day, so I would ask you to desist in those sorts of false claims.
Senator, can I just... I'm allowed to
Minister,
respond to that.
I'm sorry.
Chair, I'm allowed to respond to that. Thank you. Well, Senator, I think everybody in Australia watched your party alphabetically speak against a credible pathway on climate change. The whole country saw your... So for you to tell me that it is false to say that you don't support action on climate change consistent with the international agreement, I think is wrong.
No, you didn't say that.
It is... I hadn't...
Senator Henderson.
Sorry, Senator Henderson.
Finish and then I'll come back to you.
Thank you. I mean, now, you may have you may try and, duck and weave about it, but fundamentally, before the whole country, person after person, and I think you were part of the group that argued for this, stood up to say, we don't want to commit to net zero, we don't want to transition our economy.
Chair,
that is not consistent with the Paris Agreement. Minister, it's not consistent with credible action on climate change.
Minister,
that's how it is.
I would just...
Deputy Chair.
Sure.
Chair, I would just perhaps ask that you bring the Minister back to why we're here today. I don't appreciate
doing the same with you
the
as well,
false
too, but let's just all
characterisations,
get back to
Minister.
questions and answers, please, on
And
relevant questions to do with estimates.
Thank you. I don't appreciate the false characterisations. You made a claim that we don't support climate change. That's false. That was your first claim.
Action on climate change.
Yeah, and that's a false claim, Minister, so I'm not going to accept that.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to move to the issue of the ISIS brides.
Well,
At the
before you
last-
do that, I just need to inform you your time has actually expired. So I'm going to go to Senator Shoebridge and we'll come back to you, Senator Henderson. Senator Shoebridge, you have the call.
Minister, if we wanted to show leadership on international climate change, unambiguously supporting net zero by 2050 would be part of it, wouldn't it? I would have thought.
Well, I don't think saying that you support action on climate change whilst walking away from net zero, which is fundamental to your international commitments and transitioning the Australian economy, is consistent.
It's a hard sentence to craft and sell, isn't it?
Well, I think Australians understand precisely what has happened here on the other side of politics. And if I can say, I take no joy. I take no joy from this, because one of the things I tried to do when I was Climate Minister was get bipartisanship or multi-partisan agreement to the policy we had. And the reason is, no, if I can just, I'm not going to have a go, I just wanted to say this. This is such a big transition for Australia that we need to make for our future prosperity. We have to be able to be a strong economy in a world where some 90% of our trading partners have already committed to net zero. Then we need to transition, and it would be good for business to have the certainty that comes from having a cross-party support for this. So I think it is a disappointing outcome.
I 100% agree with you that
that may not be good for either of us.
No, it's a bad start to this Senate estimates, agreeing with you, Foreign Minister, but it was one of the reasons why, literally, I'm serious, it's ensuring that we have as much political support for renewable energy rolled out so that we have certainty for the investment pipeline. It's one of the reasons why I was proud in New South Wales to be part of ensuring that we got the country's first renewable energy zone legislation through, and we pushed it through with as much political consensus as possible in New South Wales. And when we have political parties tearing down that consensus on climate, well, they're actually selling out our future. They are selling out that critical investment. And to hear it being repeated here again today, I find just deeply, deeply depressing. But I promise that'll be the end of the agreement, and we can move on to the rest of Senate estimates.